Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series as we are here under the lights in Music City at Nashville Superspeedway played host tonight. And we're going to see some favorite music paint schemes as well as these drivers out there representing their favorite bands on the car. So looking forward to seeing some of those cool paint schemes out there as usual, as we see almost every week here in Pit Road. Looking forward to it here tonight as we're going to have 80 laps on tap here tonight and getting one step closer to the chase as well. 10 races will be in the books as we got 5 races left before the chase, including tonight. And right now, Dylan Jacobs leads the way and is pretty clear of the chase cutoff line. I'm sure not qualified in just yet, but the chase cutoff line itself is pretty dang close. Thomas O'Connor right now, the 12th and final spot, and then Joshua Smith, Chris Ledford are the first ones just below the cut line by 2 points. Another 2 points back is Cody Handler in 15th. And then another 6 points back to Cody Brewer, 7 points to William O'Connor. So really, really tight there at the chase cutoff line. We'll see who can get it done here tonight. Certainly, a win will help. A win doesn't lock you in, but it will help get you some points here tonight. Carl we're joined in the booth again here by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, this is a super speedway by name, but not really a super speedway that you think of.
No, you actually have to brake and use your throttle and save your tires and everything that a super speedway typically you don't have to do. And it's obviously a special night here. It's a throwback here to some of their favorite bands, and hopefully trading paints is working properly here tonight. I do see a lot of bands out there, so it leads me on to believe that we're going to see some great paints here for the fans. So I apologize if trading paints doesn't pick up somebody's brand new paint, but we'd always do our best here. But obviously, Carl, things are done and dusted. We're going to be out here for 80 laps here. They're done qualifying. Go ahead and I'll clear off the tower here and show everybody your starting lineup here for tonight. And it's going to be Dylan Jacobs and the number 5 on the pole with Justin Potts and the number 89 on the outside. Then you have Thomas O'Connor looking to get in on the chase here, as you've seen there earlier with the points. Ryan Sizemore in P number 4, Tiffany Ellison 5th, Austin Wells in 6th, Anthony Emerson in 7th, Austin Smith in 8th, Matthew Haig back in 9th, and Richard Covington Jr. in 10th. Then you have Michael Garcia and Cody Brewer, Josh Duncan, Kyle Emerson, Joshua Smith, Chris Ledford, Jay Monin, and TJ Hanley back there on row number 9. And then the rest of our field here tonight is going to be Ron Milliman and Kelly Akron back on row number 10, then Dylan Emerson and Cody Handler on row number 11, Will O'Connor and Chase Willard back there, and row number 12, and then 13 is going to be Bruce Spencer and Brian Roy.
Take a look at some of these cool new paint schemes out there, and one of them already standing out to me, Jimmy, and that is trying to see. I think it's the driver of. I'm losing track of where it is now, unless it's refreshed on me. Let's refresh because I've seen a Dr. Pepper paint scheme out there. I'm like, listen, I like jamming out to a lot of different things. I've heard of Dr. Dre. I've certainly heard Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue. I don't know any songs by Dr. Pepper, but it is tasty. But it looks like it's at least refreshed on the screen now. But definitely some cool looking paint schemes out here by some of the drivers, and shout out to all the painters getting it done here for tonight's race. As again, this is race number 10. We're going to have 4 more races after this before we start there it is. There we go. They got 21. We're going to have 4 more races left before we start the chase. But right now, we got to start the race. And it is off and running here as the Morgan Wallen number 5 of Dylan Jacobs had the pole, had the lead going into turn 1, but already the long haul number 89 on the outside, looking for the lead, looking for that run. Justin Potts now is going to take it into turn number 3. And good battle here already for the front of this field. But This is, I guess, in regards to concrete-wise, this is Super Speedway. It's the world's largest concrete oval, and just a little bit bigger. Obviously, one of the third miles here at Nashville, as compared to the Monster Mile there in Dover. And then, obviously, the other one you think of is Bristol, the half-mile high-banked concrete track there. But right now these drivers are going to have to deal with a little bit of daylight first, because it looks like the time is kind of reversed a little bit or advanced, because it looks like we're back to 7 o'clock. So either we waited a full day, or somebody hit the rewind button. So I got a little day racing before we head into the night.
Yeah, give a little bit of sunshine here, and got a sideways car, a 6 holding it steady, able to collect it. That is impressive. Next gen cars are not an easy car to save like that, and I'm getting the 88 out of paint, so that's random there. That's usually not a thing for Cody Brewer.
And a quick little refresh here. Looks like Dylan Emerson was able to save it, but falls all the way back to the back of the field now. Is already started kind of back there a little bit. Started back there in 21st position. But yeah, we're going to have a wreck towards the back of the field here. And we'll take a look back and see what brought this one out.
See the
It looks like 42 drifts up there. Gets into the 77, and unfortunately going to get a little help there from the 48 to fully spin around on this one.
Yeah, had it, but didn't have it. And then obviously 19 coming in there and giving a little smooch as well. Sends the 42 machine up into the wall. 82 gives it a good T-bone. Yeah, what a way to start here. Obviously, a lot tracks fast, Carl, and then you can see them drivers really trying to get on that throttle, sending that rear end around a little bit, but been able to catch up AC/DC coming there. Wow, what a hit. Number 24. Will O'Connor coming in there a little late, but well, lap number 5, first caution of the evening, is drivers will have to some of those drivers will need to come in and take repairs. Dylan Jacobs is your current leader with Thomas O'Connor in second, Justin Potts, Austin Wells, Tiffany Ellis for your top 5. You know, Carl, Tiffany Ellis sitting there second in the points. I think they're trying to keep busy with all these paint scheme nights.
It's working. This is the furthest back we've seen Tiffany in a while, back there in 5th. But either way, she's out there repping a paint scheme as well. Can't see with the sun glare from the shot there. But there we go. Alan Jackson, definitely a little throwback to my heyday of listening to country when I was little. Kind of went through different phases. Country was big when I was growing up, and phased myself out of it, back out of it. But Alan Jackson was quite prominent. Where I grew up, my aunt was a big fan of Alan Jackson, so good one out there. See, again, Morgan Wallen on the 5 of Dylan Jacobs. A little eclectic one on here on Thomas O'Connor. Beach Boys and Led Zeppelin. Certainly different genres. Question mark. Eagles on the side there. Yeah, just a big fan of all kinds of music. I like it.
There's one way to throw everything back, and then you got looks like Long Haul. Never heard of them. Hollywood Undead. Yep. Undead. Alan Jackson. Never seen that one. Cody Brewer's got West Side. As I told you, you get new paint. Who's that? I like the art. Not sure who it is. Kyle Emerson. Polaris Machine. Josh Duncan. Michael Garcia.
Finish the paint scheme. Okay.
Matthew Hake. Black Sabbath. Kelly Ackman. Repping the Home Depot.
I mean, listen, I've seen some pretty good videos online of people, banging on drums, or banging on Home Depot buckets as drums, So,
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Interstate Batteries. Wage War. THD Design. What else got there? Axstrom. Ryan Roy in the body armor. Will O'Connor. ECDC.
He's on a bit of a highway to hell on that first incident right there.
Hey,
and,
just a little bit. Yeah, Chase Ballard.
They're back out there on the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bullard unfortunately did not get his account cleared up, and he could not race here tonight. Bruce Spencer, another one, not going to race here tonight. But Dylan Jacobs is racing. He's racing out front right now, back on the loud pedal, as we are going to start checking out hopefully some more green flag laps as Jacobs, O'Connor, Potts, Wells, and Ellis, your top 5. Sizemore, Cody Brewer, Kyle Emerson, Chris Ledford, and Josh Duncan, your top 5 or top 10. So I'm already starting to descend here, and shadows already being cast on the track. But not everywhere. You have half the track in the shade here. The other half the track still getting some sunlight, as almost contact there between the 25 and 21, heading through turns 1 and 2 onto the backstretch right now. As this is a track we get this thing spread out and start to get some green flag runs here. It's concrete. It's going to get a little chewy on those tires.
Yeah, the tires get beat up really bad here. Worse than some of the tracks I've ran. In fact, I went out there, and I don't know if I just didn't have the right setup or what, but the car did not want to turn, and it wanted to lift up, so maybe I was just overdriving the corn. Obviously, no practice, and spending quite some time behind an oval wheel, or a track that runs ovals. Or a car that runs ovals, I should say. And yeah, so I wasn't having too much fun out there. So I was like, well, I'll just go back up the booth where I belong. So I was trying to get some fuel, trying to see how long they could run out here tonight. You know, but obviously with a caution being thrown in there on lap 11, and we do have a few drivers that came in. Almost a good core of the field there was in a lap 5, but that could play big here later on the race if they go green for a little while.
Certainly, you know, saving fuel helps when you get a couple of drivers that are trying to chase you down decide to spin out because they're not taking the corners correctly. It worked out for me when we raced these guys out here on Monday night for their GT series, and definitely, you know, if you're looking to get into a GT series, you know, kind of let your hair down type of series and learn a little bit. You know, I can't say that me and Jimmy are the best teachers, but we're willing to help, and you know, we're willing to you know, put some time in there and try and figure out, you know, what you're doing wrong, or, you know, what we're doing compared to what you're doing out there. So that's why we kind of hopped in with these boys and girls on Monday nights to run their GT3 series with them. But this past week was not my cup of tea with street course with Miami. Figured it out and learned all kinds of ways of corner cutting that was legal at Miami. But some backstretch cutting here by, it looks like TJ Hanley going through the grass. Now going to rejoin back up on the track, but that was a bit of a ride here. We'll see what happened here coming out of turn number 2. And it looks like just kind of a little bump coming out of turn number 2 there. Caught the 08 maybe off guard and a little on maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty big bump all by himself. Just kicked that rear end of that car out of there. Obviously, was able to keep it off the ball, keep it going green. So now, in need of a little bit of help, kind of catch up to the rest of the field. Was running up there, probably in the top 15, and now has found himself in kind of a deficit. But cautions happen here, as we've seen one already. But right now, doing a fantastic job around lap 15. Dylan Jacobs still your leader over Justin Potts, Thomas O'Connor, Tiffany Ellis moving up to P number 4 now. Trying to track down those drivers up front, and you know, obviously I'll go ahead and throw up the points chase here one more time so you can see where your driver stands in the point standings. You can see them top 12 drivers: Dylan Jacobs, Tiffany Ellis, Justin Potts, Ron Billum, Josh Duncan, TJ Hanley, Dylan Emerson, Richard Covington, Matthew Hake, Kyle Emerson, Austin Smith, Thomas O'Connor currently in the chase. And then but shortly right behind them, you see Joshua Smith, Chris Ledford, Cody Hamler, not too far out, along with Cody Brewer and even William O'Connor. I want to call them out as well. So a lot of drivers still trying to chase their way in. and get to those final races to see who's going to be your champion this season. And so you got a couple of those drivers up there right now, like Thomas O'Connor, trying to kind of secure his spot just a little bit more. Being on the bubble is not the place you want to be.
Well, certainly here at CRN is the place you want to be. I want to shout out all our fans out there in CRN Nation. I see Brandon, Kathy, Barry. I'm sure sporting his new CRN polo, or at least soon. Finally got to give it to him today, and it's definitely good quality. And I want to thank again Kim's Cups and More for making it for myself, Jimmy, Barry, and any kind of custom stuff you want done. It's anything. I mean, Jimmy always emphasizes that's a word. Emphasizes the more in Kim's Cups and More, because she really can do just about anything you think of, and really did a fantastic job. This is second or third time we've used her for making some shirts, and this is the first time we're getting some polos done. I'm a big fan of a good looking polo, and I'm a big fan of what she did here with the CRN polo. So love to see it for sure. But right now, good little run here from the drivers, and I want to send a shout out to the series sponsors here, being Axtrom, Maximum Edge Graphics, for their continued sponsorship here of the series. But definitely a little race here, a little bit of a battlefield going on, Jimmy.
Yeah, a little bit checking up, seeing some smoke. I was going to get in the corner a little bit too deep, but drivers doing a good job, giving each other some room and space, when somebody's having a little bit of issues. Like I said, the car felt real pushy for me tonight. You see somebody down there on the inside, kind of on the apron, maybe having some issues and trying to stay out of the way of the field. But yeah, big battlefield here tonight, starting from the 6th back. Obviously being led there by Josh Duncan, but too wide behind him, Ryan and Matthew Hake battling out side by side. You've got the 33 trying to come in there to go 3 wide. Track is big enough to go 3 wide. It does get a little tricky, but especially coming out of the corners. So obviously the drivers exercising those race lines pretty well so far here tonight. Thomas O'Connor is your leader now in the number 8. As Dylan Jacobs falls down. Justin Potts is now in 2nd. Dylan Jacobs in 3rd. And Tiffany Ellis is still right there in 4th. So a little bit of change up in the front. But those 4 drivers trying to check out. Well, make it 5. Those 5 drivers trying to check out from the field. And it's kind of what you want to do. Obviously, sometimes they'll go back and forth and race for the lead and whatnot. But sometimes, in leagues and stuff, the top drivers or people running out front, they'll try to keep it more organized and get away from everybody else. So then when they get a little bit farther down the road into the race, they're able to, make moves. Because every time you're battling, you're able to put some space, or you lose space to the drivers behind you. So that's what's happening behind Cody Brewer. You can back there with Kyle Emerson right now leading the way over the rest of the field there. And you can see them just kind of stacked up, and they're side by side battling left and right. So good racing here tonight so far at Nashville.
Yeah, and really, there's a lot of times where you get into it with a driver out there, and whether you're faster than them or not, you're trying to figure out a way to get around them. There's sometimes where you're just better off kind of swallowing your ego for a good 10 to 15 laps and ride behind them a little bit. Maybe put some pressure on them and try and force them into a mistake. But even if you don't force them into a mistake, you're probably forcing them to use up their tires a little bit. And then when you actually do get the run to try and make that pass, it's gonna be a lot easier. But if you're just going to get right up to them, and if you don't have any kind of tire advantage or anything like that, and you try and make the pass right away, it could be a little tough, and it could take you a couple laps to kind of fully make that pass. And all while you're doing it, the cars in front of you, the cars behind you are gaining on you, and you're losing that time. So sometimes it's better just if you catch to somebody that you're a little bit faster than, hang out behind them, try to force them into a mistake, and just kind of settle in for a little bit.
I know that train of thought I go to a lot when I'm driving, and I'm not very good at sprint races where you just gotta go all out for 30 minutes or so. I'm always thinking a little bit longer, I need to take care of this car and tires for a couple fuel tanks before I get a break, and it's just, I find myself just being a little more easy and settling in behind somebody and trying to just, keep your pace going. And unless the pace is extremely different or they're holding you up big time, then it's time to go around. But and that could be the way the driver's driving in front of you. Maybe they burn out their tires and all of a sudden they just drop off, or they have a bad corner, they miss their mark. Then you just take advantage of that and then make your move. But sometimes they got 3 wide going on back here. Looks like Joshua Smith, Michael Garcia. Oh. Wow, are you serious? A little bit of slide there, but it's 64, 48. Nothing to see here.
yeah, exactly. He's just Michael Garcia just wanted to show Joshua Smith the side of his car a little bit. He show look at my paint scheme. Look at it. Okay, now you can go by. Right now, nobody going by. Thomas O'Connor at the front. He's starting to stretch out here a little bit. 1.1 second lead, leading this thing. Justin Potts, Dylan Jacobs right behind him, doing what we just talked about, doing a little bit of battling here, and it's allowing Thomas O'Connor to stretch out here a little bit as they battle for second place. Tiffany Ellis right there in fourth. Another good run for the 9 here tonight. Cody Brewer, the top 5 right now. Austin Smith, Josh Duncan, Kyle Emerson, Ryan Sizemore, Ron Mellum currently your top 10. But really the back half of that top 10 and all the way out to about 13th, 14th spot right now is kind of the battlefield. That's where a good chunk of cars is hanging out.
Yeah, it's that's what we're kind of looking at here is another pass there by the number 91 of Ron Millum. Underneath the 83 of Matthew Hake, taking over the number 10. Biggest mover of the race so far here tonight is going to be Ron Millum. He's up the farthest. He's in 10th, up 9 spots, and then Dylan Emerson's also up 9 spots. And currently, there he is, number 6.
So far, so good. Nice little run here for the drivers already on lap number 30 here as we're starting to click it off here. It's going to be 50 laps to go already at the line, but waiting to see quite a few drivers make their first pit stop. We've seen, as Jimmy said, about half the field, quarter of the field coming on lap number 5 under that caution to get some fuel in the car. Looks like maybe some took some tires, maybe some took some right side tires, but if they did, not really benefiting too much as they're not too far up through the field. The highest one in the field that came into the pits is Austin Smith in 6th place right now, but he only took fuel when he came in, just about 5 seconds worth of fuel. We'll see how that works out in the grand scheme of things. I mean, really right now what you're looking at is, can these drivers up front run another 10 laps here under green, get it to that halfway point and make this thing a one-stop race? If they're stopping in the next couple laps, it could look pretty good for those drivers that came in on lap number 5.
Yeah, it's kind of like the bubble. So it's just if they can hit that halfway mark, and we know that they most times here at the pit road speed limit race, then they got to at least one green flag pit stop in there somewhere. And then obviously the cautions can always mix things up, always put people closer together and strategy here. But everybody's still on the lead lap, I believe, Carl. Let's see, make sure here. Nope, 19 drivers on the lead lap. First one a lap down is going to be Ryan Roy in the number 82. But Austin Wells and Chris Ledford are in the pits. Ledford just coming out now.
Yeah, some drivers towards the back and maybe reserved that this is going to be a two-stop race, or maybe it is the beginning of kind of the one-stopper, and they can make it now to the end from here. We'll see how this thing plays out as get a little bit closer to that halfway, but still a lead here for Thomas O'Connor. It's out to about 1.2 seconds right now, coming up on the lap car of Anthony Emerson right now. And this would put Emerson first car one. Actually, never mind. He's multiple laps down. I forgot he got caught in the incident earlier on here tonight. So we're gonna have to have a little bit more of a fight back here. But now we're gonna have another car from the front here. Michael Garcia in the 64. We're gonna bring it in. Looks like Cody Handler gonna follow him into the pits as well. So pit window maybe starting to open here. But again, it's kind of on a weird number here, Jimmy. It's on lap number 35. So yeah, how is this thing gonna play out? Certainly the drivers that pit on lap number 5, you'd think to be good to lap 40, but that's also only a 35 lap run, and that's some caution laps involved in there as well. So we'll see. Yeah, quite a bit more coming into the pits here with Brewer, Duncan, Sizemore. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out.
They really don't know what's kind of going on. We have a mixed bag of strategies going on at the moment. There's drivers that didn't stop during the caution, drivers that obviously did stop the caution, still out there and still running. Is the 5 laps enough to make it a 1-stop? Can they make it the rest of the way with this stop? But Jacobs Ellis coming in, relinquishing their spots, still leaving Thomas O'Connor out front, just kind of leading the way. Maybe he's pushing it there to lap number 40, and we'll take if they can keep this green the rest of the way, Carl, that could be better tires towards the end of a run. We'll see. I mean, that's a long time to be out there. Whoa, a slowdown, and I think a clip coming into the pits, but the 8 does get it down into the pits with not much loss, but maybe some damage. I did see some particles flying as that 8 took to the pits.
Yeah, I was looking at the 8 there, the back end there. I didn't see any damage somehow. That could have been a massive incident there between. Oh yeah, it is banged up there a little bit with the 8, and we'll see. Yep, there you go. Fast repair, getting it all cleaned up here real quick as these drivers, I believe, they have 2 fast repairs for the race. No, just 1. So that is the one only there for the 8. Hopefully, we can keep this thing green and clean the rest of the way. But Aston Smith right now is again one of the drivers that pit on lap number 5. He's got a 4-second lead. We'll see how far he can stretch this thing out, and realistically, if he can stretch this thing out to a good 43, 44, maybe he gets into the realm of getting this thing all the way to the end with a little bit of fuel saving. But I think that's got to be what he's got to look at right now. I know he was running up there pretty nicely in the field. Maybe he's already got design set on making this a 2-stop race like everybody else, or again, maybe these drivers can make it 45 laps and they're just coming in because they need those fresh tires. And if so, the second half is going to be a little rough for him.
Carl, you said don't curse it. What? Kathy said don't curse it.
Well, I won't curse at all. I won't see anything because we're going to go ahead and step aside since we're right here at the midway point of this race and give everyone out there, including Kathy, a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it.
We're back here in action at Nashville as we're on lap number 52. Just a quick little commercial break, but we know how much you out there in Sierra Nation hate commercials, so we just didn't show you any. We just took a little break and showed you what's going on out here. That was the quietest. Love to hear it we've ever had here in Sierra N. But either way, it is still Thomas O'Connor out front. Dylan Jacobs, Tiffany Ellis, Austin Smith, Cody Brewer for your top 5, Ryan Sizemore, Dylan Emerson, TJ Hanley, Josh Duncan, and Kyle Emerson right now for your top 10 as we're through the round of pit stops for everyone. Now the question is, who can stretch it?
Yeah, who can make it the rest of the way? Who can finish this thing out? They've been doing fantastic. Just had a few whoopsies here and there throughout the evening, but all good now here as we're going down to the final half of the race. Only 26 laps to go as they just crossed the line to start lap number 54 with Thomas O'Connor out front with Dylan Jacobs in second, Tiffany Ellis up in third, and you got Austin Smith back there in fourth, Cody Brewer, and then for your top 5.
Once again, I want to thank our sponsors, Maximum Edge Graphics and Extrum, for their sponsorship here for the series as we get cooking off the laps here and getting it closer to the final 35 laps of this race. It's been nice and green. You guys didn't miss anything out there as far as any other cautions. Keeping an eye out there. Didn't really see any kind of bumps or bruises for anybody else out there as well. So it's just been some good, clean racing. A few battles still, mainly at the back half of that top 10. That seems like that's where everyone wants to hang out and do some battling here tonight, and just outside the top 10 as well. But either way, great run for these drivers, and again, shout out to all the painters getting those new fancy favorite band paint schemes out there as well. Next scheduled paint scheme is going to be on August 19th at Richmond. We're going to have video game night. I'm hopefully going to be here for that one. Not sure. I think it's the week before that I may end up missing here, but looking forward to video game night for sure. And we still got movie night, favorite sports team night as well coming up the rest of the season. Those are both happening in the Chase, though. As a bit of a brush of the wall there for TJ Hanley. Not exactly a banner night for TJ Hanley, doing a little lawn maintenance earlier, and now just testing out the safer barriers here on the front stretch. But I guess all things considered, he's still got the car up there in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, trying to do what he's doing. I sound like almost like he was trying to save fuel, Carl. So I'm wondering if some of these drivers are thinking about trying to stretch this thing the rest of the way, or if they're going to have to stop for a splash and dash. So maybe some fuel strategies going on the raceway here tonight as Thomas O'Connor leads the way. So that's always a big player. It's like, how do you manage to get to the end? Well, you need fuel in the car. So am I slower now? Is it worth saving the time on the track, or is it worth trying to run as fast as you can and then maybe messing up a pit stop and then not being able to finish the race here, or losing more time with a pit stop? So it's lots of things to consider when it comes to fuel saving, and maybe that's what they're here tonight, or maybe just TJ was just trying to save a little bit of tire. But yeah, I definitely heard him lifting through the corners here. As right now you can hear how quiet his car is. Yeah, he's definitely trying to let the speed of the car get him through the corner. That's why you see him drifting up there, kind of like a late entry, so he's not braking, kind of coming down in, letting the car kind of diamond, but just a little bit of throttle running that outside. And
you need a little bit of brake there if you're going to go off the gas that late in the corner, unfortunately. But for TJ, I can tell you this. If TJ's saving fuel to try to make this thing to the end, he last pit on lap number 42. The drivers out front right now, the top 3 pit on lap 37, 36, 36. And even, fourth place there, Austin Smith pit on 40. And then you got Brewer and Sizemore pitting on lap number 35. I don't think they have, a chance in you-know-what to try and make this thing to the end by saving any kind of fuel. I think they're outside the window. They're going to have to just run this thing as hard as possible, try and build up a big gap here to these drivers that are saving fuel, come in and get a little splash and dash, and hopefully still have them in the race right now. Because you look back to The first driver that pit on lap number 42 right now, that's Dylan Emerson. He's back there about 12 seconds behind. He's bleeding time. I don't know if he's saving fuel, just like the 08 to TJ Hanley, but that's kind of the gap that they need to look at and see if they can stretch out far enough for that splash and dash to still pay off.
Yeah, splash and dash. For a splash and dash, you're going to go down there. Pit lane time is going to be around 40 to 45 seconds, depending on how long your pit stop is. I'm looking here at my data that I got, and it looks like pit lane time is 42 seconds with a almost 11-second pit stop time. So it's 30 seconds just to travel down pit lane. So that's the time that they're kind of shooting for. You see Ryan Sizemore coming in, and then Josh Duncan coming in as well, giving up that top 10 spot here. Maybe just trying to go early and maybe get an undercut on some of those drivers. Maybe get some fresh right side tires or something, as we got 18 laps to go.
And I like that. If you're kind of set that you're going to have to make another pit stop before the end of this race, unless you know you're going far enough to just do a splash and dash. If you think you can come in there earlier and that splash and dash is long enough that it warrants being able to take at least 2 tires, I'd come in early and get those fresh tires on there. See if you can make some hay while these other drivers are trying to kind of limp around those older tires or trying to save a little bit of fuel. Maybe you can get those new tires on there and really chase them down and make the short pit work. But right now, out front, you see the lead getting a little bit smaller. Thomas O'Connor now only out there to a 0.4 of a second lead over Dylan Jacobs, and then they got about a 4-second lead over Austin Smith, who's got Tiffany Ellis right behind him in the top 4 right now. Cody Brewer is not too far behind there as well in the top 5.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've seen a field type race here with Pit Road Speed Limit Racing. Typically, caution kind of get thrown in there and really kind of securing them, not having to save a ton of fuel. But here we are tonight. Does look like maybe some sort of fuel strategy in play with the different pit strategies, different pit laps for a lot of these drivers. You can see the ones that have come in are a lap down equal to. So hopefully they have enough to make it the rest of the way, and some of the drivers up front can make it. I think somebody that might be in the realm was in on lap number 41, Jay Mona. Now, I did miss a few pit stops as the internet decided to kindly go down temporarily, and I guess that's because there was some storms down the road. Typically when the storm's over, I lose internet for a brief moment, and I hate it, but it happens. Nothing I can do about the modern technology, and you think as much money as you pay for the internet, sometimes it should be perfect, but it always something can happen. We've seen the last race, if you were with us, you've seen your points leader in the LMP2 series over there with CSRL. Lost internet.
Top 5 points leaders.
Yeah,
as far as losing internet, yeah.
Definitely having troubles with some of the internet connections. So, it happens and it stinks, especially when you're leading the way. But right here, Thomas O'Connor trying to help secure his points position into the chase right now out front over the rest of the field. Dylan Jacobs chasing with Austin Smith, Tiffany Ellis, Dylan Emerson for your top 5, then Ron Millen, Matthew Hake, TJ Hanley, Jay Monin, and Kelly Akron for your top 10.
Yeah, and you get in a situation like this, like Thomas O'Connor is in. He's been leading for a good portion of this race, and you have to get into your own zone. You can't worry about what the drivers out there are doing, trying to save fuel to make it to the end. You can't worry about what 2, 3, 4 positions behind you is doing to try and maybe short pit or something like that. You got to do what you think is best to get you to the finish line the fastest. Whether that's coming in early, like it looks like they're coming in now. It looks like Thomas O'Connor and Dylan Jacobs into pit road here on lap number 69, and it looks like Tiffany Ellis also going to join. Austin Smith going to stay out there, but whatever you can calculate to try and get you to that checkered flag at the fastest, whether that's short pit, whether that's running it out and just taking a splash and dash, or whether that's coasting and fuel saving as much as possible and getting it to the end. As now Dylan Emerson going to move himself up into second place. Ron Millam, another one I pit on lap number 42, is now up into third. Matthew Hake is in the 4th, but he's another one I pit on lap number 37. He'll have to come in just a few laps here, as well as we're going to be at 10 laps to go once we hit the line here with Austin Smith currently leading.
and back with TJ and kind of seeing where he's at. Currently now up into P number 5, up 13 spots here tonight. Biggest mover at the moment is Dylan Emerson, sitting up there in P number 2, and battles are kind of rare, or not too close up here, exception battle back here for 8th and 9th, and I think 10th. Yeah, Cody Brewer right in range there as well, but and then we have another battle back in 16th here with Michael Garcia. So some little battles on the track, and this thing is getting close to the end here. We are under 10 laps to go.
You see Dylan Jacobs trying to run down Thomas O'Connor. That'll be the first car that battles for position, but Thomas O'Connor looking to try and get to Jay Monin, who is probably one of the first cars trying to save some fuel to get this thing to the end. And certainly not for a lack of drivers scraping the wall here tonight, as they've been testing out the safer barrier, but a good green flag run here. And it looks like we have another car coming into pit lane. I think that was Stephanie Ellis, and that is because she has a black flag. Ouch. And needs to serve a penalty here. The 9, not exactly the way they wanted the night to go, especially being up there in 3rd or 4th position pretty much the entire night here tonight. But the 9 going to be losing some points to the field here. Austin Smith, last pit on lap number 40. Going to try and make this thing go 40 laps to make it to the end. I think it's a bit of a stretch to see that happen. Dylan Jacobs now back out there. Just ran the fastest lap of the race. Nobody in the 29s yet, but a 30.00 is, well, as close as you can get.
Definitely as close as you can get here, and stretch it out. I mean, sometimes you can make it happen. I mean, maybe he has what it takes here tonight to go 5 more laps. We're about to find out. These laps are really ticking away here. He's got to slow down just a little bit. Not too much, though. Carl's still turning 30-second laps here at Nashville, so that's still a pretty decent clip. Trying to get
this is why right here, Jimmy.
Oh, well, there we go.
This is why, yeah, as Austin Smith knew that he wasn't going to make it to the end, trying to run this thing out as far as possible and maybe hoping for a caution. He's going to bring the 33 now into pit lane, and that should hand the lead over to Dylan Emerson. Now the question is, has Emerson been saving? And if he's been saving, has he been saving enough? He's still 15 seconds behind as that lead is dropping down now coming onto the front stretch, and taking over the lead is Dylan Emerson. Ron Millum will follow suit here, moving to 2nd place. TJ Hanley into 3rd, Jay Monin in to 4th. Those drivers pit on lap 42, 42, 42, and 41 for each of their pit stops here. They are most likely in save mode to try and make this thing to the end, but you got Thomas O'Connor already closing in on him and trying to run them down. Right now there's not too much time in between them, so they have to both be fast and slow to save the fuel to make this thing to the end.
Got J-Mo getting caught past there by Thomas O'Connor as he moves up into P number 4, and there goes Dylan Jacobs as well, past the number 67. But at this point, with this many laps, you might be just like, well, I made my bed, now I'm just gonna try to see this thing to the end. We'll see if Jay Monin can make it to the end. He has made up 11 positions here tonight. You can hear him in that clutch. Without that,
still gonna make the corner. Gonna make the corner, Billy.
Without the engine braking and a little bit of brakes, you still got to get that car turned down. And we've seen that there with TJ Hanley too. But he's gonna go ahead and give up P number 3 and 4 to Thomas O'Connor and Dylan Jacobs. But there's gonna be a wreck there with the 5 right in front of TJ Hanley as we were riding on board. And so we will get a caution with three laps to go. And
green white checker time.
Big green white checkered. Who's going to come in here tonight? We'll take an overhead look to see what happened here.
The 5 gets loose out of the corner, goes to correct it, and shoots straight across the nose of the 08. That was a tough one right there. Not something that either of those drivers wanted to have happen at this point in the race, but now a caution coming out. This is going to be interesting. Certainly the drivers that were trying to stretch out of fuel, Dylan Emerson, Ron Millum, probably cursing at the skies right now because maybe they had a shot to get 1st and 2nd here tonight. But now they have to come in because now it's even extra laps. I know we got some laps under caution here, but they got to come in here. You got to assume they're taking at least 2 tires, if not 4, and going to try and charge through this field on a green-white checkered. And I'm assuming we're going to see some crazy racing here at the end now.
Yeah, this is only 4 to 5 drivers coming in, so this will move them up into P number 5 with some fresh tires, and with only a couple laps to go, this might be enough tire advantage over some of the competitors over there, Carl, to maybe even steal it away. Right now, Thomas O'Connor, Cody Brewer, and Austin Smith in the kind of catbird seat there for your top 3. Ryan Sizemore in 4th, and then it's going to be Dylan Emerson coming out there in the 6th out of the pits, and for a top 5 that Dylan Jacobs, even though he was involved, he'll still be in there. Let's get some service done, so he's going to probably come out last of the drivers. TJ Hanley being involved there as well, but in 9th. Coming out, you see the 5 in the 08 battle.
Racing side by side. That was extremely close at the line, at the leaving pit road right there. And it looked like Dylan Jacobs just edged out TJ Hanley. But it'd be real interesting now because it looks like Dylan Emerson only electing for fuel on this stop here and trying to get the track position here. I don't know if I agree with that call because he's going to have to try and pass 4 other cars that have the same thing. They've got the same set of tires and trying to stretch this thing out. I like the call back here for drivers like Dylan Jacobs or Ron Millen. Looks like they took 2 tires at least to try and work their way around these cars at the end. I know it's only green-white checkered, but quite a bit of cars came into the pits. Only 4 of them stayed out. So this is certainly going to take us close to the end. When it comes to stretching out these tires and what they're capable of doing on this concrete track is definitely a bit of a kerfuffle here with everyone trying to figure out where they need to go, how they need to get around here. I think there's a lot of cars getting a wave around. But this is going to be a green-white checkered attempt, number 1 of 3. Can Thomas O'Connor, who led most of this race here tonight, get the win?
I mean, he's in the prime position to do so here tonight, pitting there on lap number 69. Cody Brewer was in on 66, lap 75 for Austin Smith, so he got some newer tires right behind the 8, and then
that's only 2 only. I don't think that's new tires. That's only 7-second lap time, 7-second pit time. Yeah. Maybe Ryan Sizemore with the 10-second got 2 tires.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd keep an eye out here for Ryan here. He might be a good spot here. We'll see how well they're going. They're going to bunch them up here and get them going. But the 8 gets a nice start here. A little bit of a slip there by the 31. It's going to allow a few drivers to get below and kind of get stuck on that outside. Might not pay off well, but tough break there for Ryan. No pressure, but he is maybe the broadcaster curse coming up here late. But back up front, Thomas O'Connor, he got getting away here from Cody Brewer and Austin Smith. Austin Smith battling Cody there on the inside, down through turns 3 and 4. Got to come across the start-finish line here. White flag will go in the air this time by as Thomas O'Connor leads the way, but the battle here is for P number 2. And then you see back here in 3 and 4, we got some people sliding around there, getting up into the wall. That's going to affect some drivers.
At the back of the field here.
At the 5 of Dylan Jacobs trying to get back in the fight. TJ Hanley trying to get in there, but we're coming around the turns 3 and 4. Thomas O'Connor out front, leading the way. Your battle is back here for 2nd and 3rd, but it is going to be Austin Smith in 2nd, Cody Brewer in 3rd.
Yeah, O'Connor, right spot, the right time with that caution coming out late. Would he have caught Dylan Emerson? I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. The caution came out, and Thomas O'Connor was able to get back to the front of this field and did what he did for most of it, and that's lead, and more importantly, lead at the checker flag. We'll see what happened right here. Looks like the 48 getting into the 77 late. And this is on the final lap into turn at number 1. Some heavy incidents right there, but Thomas O'Connor in the 8's going to be able to celebrate this one here one more time as he's going to step up and I believe, double check my my standings here. Yes, this was his first win of the season. Took a while for sure, but a pretty dominating performance here at the Super Speedway.
Yeah, Michael Garcia losing it there at the end, going sideways, couldn't quite catch it, overcorrected it, and heading backwards. 25 trying to miss. Trying to get that car turned around so you get it across that start finish line before anybody else gets there. Poor Mike. But what a finish here tonight for Pit Road Speed Limit Racing, and we'll go ahead and clear everything out of the way as Thomas O'Connor burned it down on the front stretch here. So great race here tonight by Pit Road Speed Limit Racing. Nice and quick one here at the Nashville Superspeedway. But here is your results for tonight's race. It's going to be Thomas O'Connor with the win, with Austin Smith in P number 2, Cody Brewer finishing third. Dylan Emerson will come home in fourth with Jay Monin for your top 5. TJ Hanley manages to pull out a top 6 with Dylan Jacobs in 7th. Ron Millam in 8th, and Ryan Seasmore back there in 9th, with Kyle Emerson finishing in the top 10. Austin Wells, Matthew Haig, Josh Duncan, Joshua Smith, Michael Garcia, Chris Ledford, Cody Handler, and Brian Roy for your top 19. The rest of the field with the P number 19 is going to be Kelly Akron, Will O'Connor, Tiffany Ellis finishes in 21st, Justin Potts, Bruce Spencer, Richard Covington Jr., Anthony Emerson, and Chase Ballard for your drivers here for tonight.
So I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in through the commercials and all here tonight on CRN. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. Tune in tomorrow night for another doubleheader with Virtual Velocity Racing and Core GT Series. But we have our top 3 drivers here tonight ready for some interviews. And third place here tonight is going to go to the 88 of Cody Brewer. Cody, certainly some great racing by a lot of you out here tonight, and a long green flag run, but that all got put to the wayside there with the late race caution. I'm assuming that caution was kind of nice for you to get yourself a chance for the top 3.
Yeah, no, it was nice. I'm glad we didn't have another one, because I would have went from top 3 to 20th in a hurry.
So, I mean, anything for the for the top man tonight, Thomas O'Connor? It seemed like he had a pretty fast number 8 here tonight. I would assume you're probably happy with the third.
Yeah, no, that was a good team effort by us to go 1, 2, 3 there. So can't complain. Thomas finally dominated a race.
Yeah, finally gets his first win of the season. But I mean, eyes looking at the at the chase coming up here pretty soon. You come in here a little bit behind the 8 ball, trying to catch yourself up in points. Certainly, third place is going to help do that.
Yeah, no. The bad races at the beginning of the season definitely bit me in the butt there, but no, hopefully get this thing rolling in the right direction and get hot when the chase starts.
Well, you're only 10 points behind the cut line, but unfortunately, Thomas O'Connor was that cut line. So we'll see how it shakes out here tonight. But either way, congrats on the third place here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Give a shout out to Tiffany with Maximum Edge Graphics doing the paint scheme for me tonight, and just shout out to In the Fence Racing for the 1, 2, 3 finish.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on that third place here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, Cody Brewer in the 88. Second place here tonight is going to go to the 33 of Austin Smith.
Hey, Austin, Jimmy Carlton, boot the copy.
I copy. What's going on, fellas?
Not bad. Nice, quick race here tonight at Nashville. A couple cautions here and there to mix things up. Puts you in a position to finish in second. So give us a little rundown of your race and how it was out there.
It was pretty good. I started, I think, 26. So I was at a deficit from the beginning, but all around pretty fun race.
Yeah, pretty, this race here is kind of unique. Obviously, they call it a super speedway, but a little bit short, on the shorter end of being a super speedway, but some great close racing. It's just one of those challenging nights here with the concrete track. So how does the tire management here tonight kind of play into your finish overall?
Yeah, it drives like Iowa with longer straightaways, in my opinion. But yeah, just trying to conserve tire for the long run if there was one, and there was a few tonight, so that was nice.
Well, it's awesome to have that 33 up here on the podium once again, and obviously here at Nashville as the season's starting to come down to an end, and that chase is just around the corner. So we want to say congratulations and recognize your performance on the track and give you some time for any shouts you might have at number 33.
You already know, Jamie, I got to shout out my smoking hot old lady, Haley, back in Oregon, holding it down.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to give anybody a shout out, the old lady is definitely the one to do it. So again, I'm sure she appreciates that shout out here. And again, congratulations on the finish. And hopefully you get back and you can go celebrate with your friends and family.
Damn for y'all. Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
That is driver of the 33, second place here tonight, Austin Smith here at Nashville. But the top spot is going to go to the 8 of Thomas O'Connor. Thomas, you finally cracked through for your first win here tonight. And looked like it was going to be easy. You definitely had a bad fast number 8 out there tonight. But the pit stops and kind of how everything was working out wasn't looking too good before that caution came out.
No, definitely did not. We were kind of stressing out there, trying to figure out when we would pit. And then we just decided to pit. I think I had like 8 laps of fuel. But this 8 car, I mean, maybe KB was on my side tonight. Definitely was. I just locked in and just started running my own race. I just got into a good rhythm. But I felt like KB himself tonight. That was a good race. I was a little nervous when I pitted my first time and I got rear-ended. I was in the wrong chat. I was in the admin chat, not the regular drivers. So so Anthony didn't hear me give a call out, and but I got lucky. I was able to use that one fast repair. So.
Yeah, I think he wiped the Zeppelin off the lead on the back of the bumper. It didn't take you out. But listen, I mean, you come into tonight, Bubble Man. Certainly not a fun place to be, but it's got to feel completely different now, leaving with the first win of the season.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe it's, this season's been rough. Just haven't been able to get a clean race for a long time. And that was, one, it's on the track. It's hard to come from that deficit, but then also you got, your mental state. And it was just every single race I felt like was a bad race for me. But ever since the road course, I had one bad race, but I felt like I turned things around, started working with some teammates of mine, and, just learning a little bit more on how this car works. And it's definitely improved my race. Now I feel a little bit better getting that first win of the season. And it's never been fun after Kyle Busch died. So, I got to give this one to him, and thank all the fans, Rowdy fans, core fans, all of them sticking with us, Rowdy fans, sticking together through this tough time. Bundle of Joy, got to shout them out, and then the Busch family, and you guys.
Listen, you can't win multiple races until you win the first one, so we'll see how you do leading up to the chase, starting with Pocono next week. But definitely a good one here tonight. Congrats on getting it done here with a little help from the caution there late in the race. Doesn't matter, you get it done here tonight, get that first win, and we'll see if you can go for number 2 next week at Pocono.
Yep, thank you guys. Have a good one.
You too, buddy. That is your winner, Thomas O'Connor, getting it done here tonight for the first time. And yes, your fiance won here tonight for sure, and getting it done here for the first time this season. Hopefully, won't be the last time we talk to Thomas O'Connor as he tries to scratch his way and make his way into the chase. That we only have 4 more races to decide who those 12 are going to be. That all starts through and goes through August, as we'll have Pocono, Bristol, Richmond, which again will be the video game night paint schemes, and then Watkins Glen. What a heck of a place to end the regular season, and maybe get somebody from the outside to the inside on the road course. But you're gonna have to tune in because all those races will be right here on CRN. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in again here tonight. Hit that like and subscribe. For myself and Jimmy from the Nashville Superspeedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.